Hey there, it's Carrie here from Wrap Your Head Around Silks. You're listening to the Expecting Aerialist podcast. Today I have my friend and student, aerialist, hobbyist, Jennifer Lupo. She is going to bring us on a journey with her experience with gestational diabetes and her birth story and her daughter's experience with Meconium Aspiration. I think that's how you say it, but I could be very wrong. I tried, you guys. She is an amazing and completely bubbly, hilarious person. You guys are really going to enjoy today's podcast. We'll come out of the deep dive that we've been in the last couple weeks. And also, just to remind you guys, in the show notes, there is a link to register for the Wrap Your Head Around Silks free mini course, 10 chapters of cute little things and some advice for you. Check it out there. Super easy to register for the student portal. And let's get started. Podcast listeners, this is Jennifer Lupo. Am I saying that right, Jen?
Yeah, Lupo. Mm-hmm.
She is actually a social worker. She is also a aerial hobbyist, mostly silks, and I see her all the time because she's one of my students. Has been for many years, I think now.
Yeah.
And she was pregnant and had her daughter before me. And then I learned, I think at my baby send-off for my students, like my mini baby shower, she kind of told the story of Aria and her birth story. And it was a little rough, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love for you to tell us about your prenatal. I know that you ended up with gestational diabetes and it affected you for much longer than just your pregnancy. And then separately, Aria's birth story was not something that you were mentally and emotionally prepared for because it just happened.
Yeah.
So, bring us in on your story.
So I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes pretty early. My doctor wanted to screen me, I think at 11 or 12 weeks because my mom had gestational diabetes as well.
Okay.
They really did not explain to me the process for the hour glucose test. I just thought, they said, oh yeah, you'll drink the glucose and then we'll test your blood sugar. My first trimester, I was pretty nauseous and they said, come fasting. And so I came first thing in the morning because I was I really don't want to have to fast longer than I need to. Okay, well, drink this glucose drink and then you have to sit here for an hour and then we'll test your blood sugar. And I was like, excuse me? I'm on the verge of throwing up right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you want me to not eat for another hour. But I just was like, well, I just need to get this done because, I work full time. So I did it. And they were very kind to me. They let me, lay down in this room by myself because I was like, I can't sit in the waiting room. I feel like I'm going to throw up. And my blood sugar was elevated. So they said, come back and we'll do the 3-hour test, which is so fun. You drink the drink again, and then you test after 1 hour, 2 hour, and 3 hour, and they compare your blood sugar to see if it's in the normal range for what they want. And I was not in the normal range.
I call you J-Lo, and I've never called you by your actual name. So that's what I'm going to call you here. And everyone, you'll just know her as J-Lo.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Not Jennifer Lopez, but Jennifer Lupo. Yeah. So J-Lo, you had an elevated blood sugar. They asked you to come in for the 3-hour test.
Yeah.
And then please tell us about that.
But that time I was much more prepared. because I knew that I was not going to be able to eat and I needed to be able to distract myself in order to not throw up. So my sweet, sweet friend, Kelly Smith, she came with me and we watched movies on her laptop for 3
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
What did you watch?
I think oh God, I can't even remember. I don't know. I can't, but she had this like earphone splitter that she's like, I've had this earphone splitter for years and now I can finally use it. So she was very sweet and she kept me company, which was very helpful with, not thinking about how nauseous I felt. And it unfortunately came out that my blood sugars were not in the range that they wanted it to be, that it was elevated. So they said, we're going to send you to this gestational diabetes class and, you'll get set up with like a nurse and, all the things that you need. And let me tell you, so this class, I think they gear it towards people who may not want to make the changes that you need to make in order to manage your blood sugar. Because right out the gate, they like started with, if you don't regulate and manage your blood sugars, your baby could dislocate their shoulder during birth because they're too big, and
wow,
their blood sugar, like you'll negatively impact the fetus because you're connected in terms of your blood sugar, and in very, very severe cases your baby could die. And it was like, I was like, what the fuck? I am a fucking motivated person. You don't need to scare me. Like, just tell me what the hell I need to do.
God.
But my God, I like came out of that class. Like, I'd gotten my glucose monitor and I got the contact for my nurse that I was going to like be talking to on a regular basis. And I went to work and I sobbed. I was like, oh my.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So I was just like, you know what? They really don't need to do it like that. But I guess maybe sometimes there's people who just don't understand the severity and they need to.
Yeah, they don't take it seriously or something, but that is not you.
That is not me. So.
No. And by the way, if you guys ever get to meet J-Lo here, she is a ball of energy of happiness, even when she's not so happy. Like, she's just a joy to be around. And she is so fun when she has one glass of wine because she's a very low tolerance. So if you're ever there for the second glass, it's like, ask her anything.
It's true. It's true. I want to set everybody up and I just want to like tell everybody how much I love them. Well,
yeah, you're such a happy tipsy. It's the best. It's the best.
So yeah, so it was scary. Like, basically you're on a diet that is like a newborn. Like, you have your breakfast, 2.5 hours later, you have your snack, and then 2.5 later, you have your lunch, and then 3 hours later, you have your snack, and then 3 hours later, you have your dinner, and then you have another snack before you go to bed so that your blood sugar doesn't dip too low and then spike in the morning.
So what were the restrictions? Like, what did you have to cut out of your diet?
It wasn't so much restrictions as to you needed to count your carbohydrate intake and ensure that you were pairing any carbohydrates that you were eating with a protein so that your body doesn't metabolize it so fast and then spike your blood sugar. So, yeah. So I changed my diet, and it actually was very helpful with the nausea. Like, and I think I had pretty bad nausea because my blood sugar was like out of whack. So once my blood sugar was, more even keeled, it was an improvement. I do have to say. So, I mean, even though...
Wait, J-Lo, gestational diabetes, you have it if your blood sugar's too high and if it's too low?
Yeah, you don't want it on either spectrum.
Oh, goodness. Dude, I don't know so much about life. Like every time I record for this podcast, like my mind is fucking blown because I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like I went to college, I'm educated and I don't know anything.
I mean, I didn't know very much about gestational diabetes either. And then I had to learn about it like overnight.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, totally.
So you definitely want to eat a lot of like fiber, and you want to like eat more complex carbohydrates. And yeah, so I wouldn't say restrictions, just that you had to be really mindful of your portions and your carbohydrate intake. Desserts aren't the thing for me. Mm-hmm. So that part wasn't as difficult as the carbohydrates. Like I would have French fries all day, fried chicken all day, like if I could. So, I mean, and then you have to test your blood sugar either an hour after you eat or 2 hours after you eat.
Every time you eat? Every single time?
Well, after each meal and first thing in the morning.
Okay, and this is a finger prick or not?
Finger prick, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ah,
yeah.
So that on top of being pregnant,
yes.
It's just like you have to think about it. So it's taking your mental energy.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's taking some emotional energy and just taking energy, period. I remember J-Lo coming into class because she was still, by the way, this woman's a beast. And she is really strong. Her abs are really strong. She was doing, and being very careful too. She was doing straddles and like not full range of motion meat hooks. But I think at 6 months.
Yes.
Yeah, your body was able to do that. Your core was still very connected. I was very impressed. The whole room was impressed. But then she comes in and she's like, oh my God, all I want is noodles.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my God. J-Lo is Chinese. Full Chinese, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chinese American. We love our noodles. You more than me. I'm not... If I don't have them right in front of me, I can forget about them, honestly.
Dude, yeah, man. I would be like, oh, I just want to eat some noodles.
I know. And the thing is, when you have a craving when you're pregnant, it's even more strong, It's just...
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so... You got through your second trimester and then your third trimester, just dealing with your gestational diabetes, but everything else is going kind of normal. Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah, at some point I had to start insulin shots at night because my fasting numbers were not where they wanted it to be. So that was, that was not pleasant, but I was okay. Yeah, so everything else was pretty smooth. I mean, one unfortunate part of having gestational diabetes, or if you have anything that puts you in a quote unquote high risk category, is that third trimester, you're supposed to go in for non-stress tests like twice a week.
Oh,
it's a pain in the ass. The silver lining is that I got to see my child many, many times on an ultrasound.
Yeah, because pregnancies that you don't have that, you just basically see a handful of ultrasounds. I like that too, because I was going in for a low-lying placenta and they wanted to see it all the time. And it was kind of like reassuring to me, oh, there's my child. She's moving around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at one point though, I was like, do we have to do an ultrasound right now? And they're like, oh, no, we don't. I'm like, okay, I'm good. Because I know she's there. She's an active baby. So
yeah.
They would just do the non-stress test. Oh, and just a tip for all you moms out there, you can negotiate, because I think at one point they may have wanted me to come in 3 times a week. I negotiated down to 2. And then I was like, doctor, my blood sugars have been very stable, doing everything you want. Can I just come in once a week? And they were like, okay. Yeah, that was definitely something that I did throughout my pregnancy and throughout her NICU stay. I was my own best advocate and my child's best advocate. So they might tell you something, but you can also always ask, what is the reason? What is the purpose? Is there any flexibility in this? So yeah. So my 3rd trimester, there was a lot of non-stress tests, but I negotiated down to a little bit less frequent because I was like, this is ridiculous, people. This is a lot.
Well, and you were still working full time.
Yes.
At that time. Yeah. And you were in your 3rd trimester already into your fall school year, right? Because you work at a school.
Yep.
Okay. So 3rd trimester and baby's ready to come. Let's get into it.
I had a doula and that was really helpful. My OB, she was very sweet. She wasn't like pushy, but she was like, let's get an induction on the books. And I was like, no, let's not put an induction on the books. Like, I don't want to be induced. And so again, I would just advocate. I'd be like, can I just like check back with you in like 3 days?
Is that because she didn't want to be surprised by your birth?
Depending on what hospital you're at, they have different policies about how far they'll let you go.
Oh, because wait, were you already after your due date by then?
So typically for people with gestational diabetes, they like to induce at 39 weeks.
I did not know this. Okay.
And I did not want to be induced. I really wanted to be able to have freedom of movement. I did not want to have an epidural because with Pitocin, things can go, it's really painful from what I understand. So again, I negotiated like, just give me a couple more days. Just give me a couple more days. I went into labor 40 weeks and 1 day.
Okay.
Everything was moving along, I think I really started to feel the contractions maybe like 5 a.m, but they were still okay. And then around 10 a.m, I was like, I need to go to the hospital because I feel like this baby has to be coming out soon. This baby has to be coming out soon.
The contractions went way, changed a lot.
They were really intense. And I just was like, we need to go to the hospital. We get into the car and thankfully the car route, it was a Sunday and there wasn't traffic, thank God. But damn, it is not pleasant having contractions in a moving car. It's just...
That did not happen with me. I don't know what that's like.
10 out of 10 would not recommend, but
Got it.
Definitely understand wanting to labor as long as you can at home. So anyways, we get to the hospital and let me just say, this hospital had the nerve to not have a wheelchair for me. So I'm like in the lobby and I was like, really?
What?
Fucking wheelchair? It's a Sunday. It's not fully staffed.
Oh my God, J-Lo. Did I know that you were going to come alive like this on this podcast? No, I didn't.
Sorry, I'm dropping a lot of F-bombs.
No, you're just being yourself, but I'm glad you're decided to bring the full version of yourself because it's so entertaining.
So I'm pissed because I'm like, I was told there was going to be a wheelchair for me. And they finally got me my wheelchair. Actually, I don't know if they got me my wheelchair because I was just like, fuck this. I'm walking my ass to this elevator because I ain't got the time to go through another contraction in this lobby without a wheelchair. So I think I might have gotten myself to the labor and delivery wing without a wheelchair. That really pissed me off.
Yes.
I made it. They check me in the triage room. And this baby had the nerve to only be 4 centimeters dilated. So I was like, excuse me?
Oh my God.
And they were like, well, you could go home and you could labor some more and then you can come back. I was like, I am not doing 2 more car rides. Like, and they were like, okay, you can walk around the like labor and delivery wing and then come back in an hour and we can check you. And because I think 5 centimeters is where you can be checked in.
Okay, wait. Your water did not break.
No, not yet.
Got it. Okay. My water broke before any contractions happened, which is why I went, it was the opposite.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. All right.
So I walk and I'm like, I am not going back home. These people are taking me. So an hour later, I get checked and they're like, great, you're at 5 centimeters. I'm like, great, check me in. You know, we had our doula with us, my husband, and then my friend who's a photographer. They were with us. You know, we were just rocking and rolling, moving, dancing. My pressure points, that was really helpful. You know, they asked me a couple times, like, do you want an epidural? And I was like, no, I don't want to be stuck in the bed. And they were pretty respectful about it. But I had to be monitored. So again, you can negotiate, women out there, because there's like a couple different types of monitoring devices that you can use. And so the one that I was like, well, can you just do the one that you strap to my belly so that like I can still move a little bit, you know, around the radius? And they were like, okay, that's fine. So that's what they had around me. Let's see, 4 or 5 p.m., maybe a little bit earlier. And I was at 7 centimeters. The first time they had lost the heartbeat. So like there was a flurry of people and then they were able to like find the heartbeat, but they were like, okay, you need to stay in the bed so that we can monitor this. And because, you know, when you're moving and it's strapped to your belly, like, you know, sometimes you can lose the heartbeat. That was like pretty scary. And I try to remember as best as I can. I remember saying to my doula, I was like, I think I need to have a C-section because I was scared.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know what was going on. And then they lost the heartbeat a second time. It was crazy. Like all these people came in. I think the nurse or the doctor was like doing the consent for an emergency C-section as we were rolling to the OR room. I just had a sense. I was like, I think she needs to come out now. Like, I was just like, once they asked me, like, it said, baby is in distress. We need to do an emergency C-section. And I said, yes, like, just get her out. Cause I didn't feel right.
What was that time frame like? They lost her heartbeat. Like how much time went past between that and you feeling this gut feeling?
Not that long, maybe 10 minutes.
Oh yeah. Okay. That's quick.
You know, my husband and I, we talked about it later and he did not know what was going on. He did not know that I was like, I think I need to have a C-section. I think she needs to come out. Like he just was like, all these people came and then you were gone. And no one explained to him what was going on until like 40 minutes later. It was crazy. They rolled me into the OR. Like it's just a flurry of everything. Like I remember the anesthesiologist asking me, have you ever had problems with general anesthesia? And I just was like, no, like, I don't know. I haven't. And then I was out.
Yeah. I
have this very weird memory. Like, I think it was either the day after she was born or 2 days. And I was washing my hands and I had all this blood caked into my cuticles. And I was so confused because I was like, why would I have blood caked into my cuticles? I've been washing my hands. I mean, when I came to, like when I regained consciousness, I remember they were not restraining me, but they were like, it's okay. Like, you know, like you're in the operating room because I was like, I think I was like trying to like move or like I don't know, grab my stomach or grab my, I don't know if I was trying to like grab my baby. I wouldn't put it past myself to do something like that. So yeah, that was just a really weird memory. But anyways,
okay.
I come to and she's not there. And I'm very groggy. I'm just like, where's the baby? I think it was my husband who came in and told me like, we have a baby girl. We also didn't know her gender.
Okay.
Before. So she told me like, we have a baby girl and she's in the NICU right now. She aspirated on meconium. Sometimes babies poop in the process of labor and delivery. Sometimes they open their mouths and swallow it.
Is there like a name for that, or is it just that?
Meconium aspiration. Yeah.
Okay.
That really sticky black tar, that first poo is the meconium if they didn't, while they're being delivered. So she had swallowed a lot and apparently had to be resuscitated or had CPR applied twice.
Oh my God. So she wasn't breathing coming out, basically.
Correct.
Oh my God.
So, they tried to do everything that they could to clear her lungs, but it was very bad. Afterwards, my husband told me that they were like, your baby is very sick. We're doing everything we can. But, that hospital, they have the lower level of care for NICUs. So they quickly transferred her to the next higher level of care within that hospital system. They tried everything they could to, help her, but they just didn't have what she needed. And so she was then that same night. So gosh, I think my husband went with her to CHLA in the middle of the night.
So basically transferred hospitals.
Yeah, she was transferred twice.
And you were not transferred.
Correct. I was like, put me in that fucking ambulance. I'm going with my baby.
Of course.
I'm not staying here. And she's going to another hospital. I don't know who talked me down, but they were like, honey, you just had a C-section. You need to stay here and recover. So I was like, okay. But she was transferred to CHLA. And because she had, she was so sick and she had so much meconium in her lungs that I believe it was, impairing her ability to breathe and also getting into her bloodstream.
Oh, wow. Which can be septic, right?
I don't know if that's what it is, but it was just not good. It was really not good.
Okay.
So my husband, consented for her to go on heart and lung bypass, it's called ECMO. It acts like an external heart and lungs.
Okay.
My child is fiery and strong.
No way. Where did she get that from?
I wonder where. But when they put her on ECMO, they were like, we think she might be on the ECMO machine for 30 days. Girlfriend was done in 5.
Strong baby.
Very strong baby. She was basically like, fuck this bullshit. I got places to go. I need. So I'm forever grateful to Children's Hospital Los Angeles because they saved my baby's life.
Okay, so please put this timeline down because all of us who have had children already, when the baby comes out, you don't want to be apart from that baby at all, right?
Yeah.
So you're laying in one hospital, your kid is in another hospital. How long is it till you're able to get out of your hospital?
They were like, okay, we can safely discharge you once you can, urinate on your own. Because I had a catheter, right? I can't remember if it was that you had to pee first or you had to pass gas first. The general anesthesia, they wanted to make sure it's all out of your system. And they also want to make sure that you can urinate on your own without a catheter. I think I was out. I had 2 breakfasts in the hotel. What hospital? Hospital. 2 breakfasts in the hospital. So if she was born Sunday, then I was out Tuesday afternoon.
Okay, that's a long time to not be with your newborn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was discharged Tuesday, so I got to see her that afternoon. And then I don't think I was able to hold her until a week and a half later.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But somehow you still were able to breastfeed.
Yes.
You still were able to catch that train before it passed, right? So,
oh my God, that was my poor sweet girl. She had a severe tongue and lip tie. He was intubated, right? So there was a lot of things, but I exclusively pumped and then got engorged because lactation consultant, again, these people, they think that I'm not going to do everything that they say. And she was like, you need to be pumping 10 to 12 times a day for at least 25 minutes, which then contributed to an oversupply. And that was very painful. Thankfully, I did not get mastitis.
Well, women are different. Some women need that, and some women need probably just a little more or some a little less.
So I was exclusively pumping. And shout out to my friends who came and helped me in the middle of the night with pumping because, I was still recovering from my C-section and needed help. I worked with many, many, many lactation consultants at the hospital, in the NICU, in the outpatient clinic. I hired a private lactation consultant to come to my home. I went to breastfeeding support group. When she was about 2 months old, I think we were able to reestablish breastfeeding. It was a lot of work, but I was determined because I was like, well, honestly, I was motivated because I was like, if I can breastfeed this baby, then I don't have to get up and do more work with bottles. And I don't have to think about bottles when we're out. And I don't have to clean.
Oh my God. Other women are like, oh, I want to feel the connection, body, soul, and spirit.
Yeah. I mean, almost. Come on. Like, if you can breastfeed your baby, then it's like, if they're tired, put them on the boob. If they're crazy.
No, I mean, I get it. But it's so Chinese of you because I'm sure my dad would say this. He'd be like, well, isn't it cheaper if you can just breastfeed them? I'm sure my dad would wanted to have said that. Maybe he did or didn't. I don't know. I was too little.
I mean, that is true, though.
I mean, it is, but that's not the reason to do it or not. I would hope. J-Lo, tell us the ending of this, the happy ending, though. So how long was she in the NICU and what did the meconium just go away? Like, what happened?
ECMO did its job and, helped her to stabilize. And she was in the NICU for 5.5 weeks.
Wow, that's kind of a long time.
It is. But, a lot of day was the pain management because she was on such powerful painkillers and narcotics that they didn't want to just take her all of a sudden off of all these pain meds.
Right.
And then go back to the hospital.
Yeah. And that just must have broken your heart that your baby is just so like hooked up and like on so much crap.
Yeah. I was grateful for all the medicine that saved her and hopefully provided, the pain management is really important because she had been through so much. But it was that. And it was also like, because she had been intubated, they wanted to make sure that her breathing was strong enough to be able to breathe on her own.
Okay, so the part of your story that always really got me, women who end up with their kid in the NICU, sometimes they already know through screenings that there's going to be something that they need to deal with later. The baby's a preemie. You know that they're going to be in the NICU. You guys were like me going into the hospital. You're like, okay, my baby's due at 40 weeks. Let's take her home in 3 days.
Right.
That is crazy to me, that switch.
When we talked to our OB, like Meconium aspiration is just I mean, I don't even know the numbers, but it's just very rare. And there is a spectrum of how severe it can be, right? Like one baby might swallow their poop, but not that much and are able to be like their airway is able to be cleared. Then there's my child who had to go on heart and lung bypass. So she was in the NICU for 5.5 weeks. Definitely spent a lot of time in the hospital, spent a lot of time pumping. I would just encourage any moms out there who are in the NICU to, if you can't advocate for yourself, like if that's not something that you feel comfortable with, then make sure you ask for help from a family member or a friend that you trust to be that voice, because, you know, like you have to. And there are things that you can say, like, no, I don't want that, or I don't like that, or what are you doing, or why are you doing that? Even though it was a terrible, traumatic start, if we had had a smooth labor and delivery, I don't know if the doctors would have been watching her so closely, because we then later found out that she has a very rare genetic disease, which impact her liver and her heart function. I mean, thank God she is very stable. Yeah, I think if she had not had such a traumatic birth, then I don't think the doctors would have taken her slow weight gain so seriously.
Ah, okay.
Well, and then also because I was not happy with the hospital and the insurance system that I was in, I switched to something else, which gave me more options for my child and for myself. That is something that I look back and I'm like, that is a silver lining of all the terrible things that happened. She's a very active, healthy, opinionated toddler.
So she does have a genetic condition where she's not, so she's just at a lower percentile, basically.
Yeah. So her weight gain is quite slow, but she is gaining weight. It's just, she's on her own curve. We're very grateful that she's stable, that she is as stable as she is. Yeah, she was followed by regional center because she'd had a traumatic birth. The neurologist, when she was a week and a half old, 2 weeks, he said, I see some possible damage in the gray matter of her brain, and there could be developmental delays. That's something that you have to watch for.
Wow.
Thank God that she has met all of her milestones and exceeded some. And
JLo, can I ask you, so they knew to look at the brain because her weight was not being put on. That's how
this was when she was in the NICU.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Because she had not been able to breathe for so long. See, anytime that you have constriction of oxygen or lack of oxygen, it can really damage your brain, right? The neurologist was saying that he thought he saw some evidence of damage in the gray matter. And so he was like, I don't know. We don't know if there will be any delays until she gets to whatever developmental stage she's at, and if she is or is not meeting those milestones. Right. So that's why we had regional center services. And I mean, she's doing really well and she's graduating from regional center. I'm also very grateful for regional center and all their help. We don't know what her future will look like in terms of like heart and liver stuff, but in the meantime, she is thriving and doing really well. And, really grateful that, even though she was in the hospital, we were still able to breastfeed. And again, for that lazy side of me that doesn't want to deal with
Can I ask you, when you say that regional, was that occupational therapy?
Because she was doing so well, we just had assessments every 6 months.
Ah, okay.
So the physical therapist would track her progress, and which was like, it was nice to have that feedback to be like, okay, this is where she's at. These are some ways that you can help support her development. Yeah. And our physical therapist was great.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know you have to go pick up said daughter now. Your story is, it's tough, but it's also like a rainbow. Like it's got a good ending. I really appreciate you coming on the pod and being the most version of yourself, which I love. You're such a bright spot. It's amazing.
Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun to talk about, and I really appreciate your podcast and I enjoy listening to it. And I hope that this is helpful for other moms.
Thanks so much to Jennifer Lupo for being with us today and sharing her awesome story and her energy. Just a reminder, in my show notes, there's a link to register for the Wrap Your Head Around Silks free mini course. Super easy to register. You will create a login for the student portal. Check it out. Thank you so much to Asa Watkins for post-production. And please, if you would honor me with a 5-star rating and review anywhere you get your podcasts, it really helps the community find me more easily. Thank you so much. You've been listening to the Expecting Aerialist podcast. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Hi.
She just kissed me. That's a very sweet bean. Do you want to say hello?
Good from.
Say hello.
Hi.
Can you say podcast?
Podcast.
Listeners.
Listen.
Very nice. Very nice.